Good evening, guys. This is Naresh, your host from Autocars India, bringing you live podcast for Formula One round number 12 at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. Round 12 of 2017 championship, and we are there at Spa-Francorchamps, bringing you live race day, and we are expecting some exciting race today after all the drama which happened yesterday, where both the Williams were out, and they were almost relegated in the first qualifying session, and end of the day Lewis Hamilton starts at top, which is a great thing for Lewis Hamilton. He was not very comfortable for the car since last 2 days during the start of the weekend, but as the weekend progressed he seemed to be pretty much confident, and yesterday he stamped his authority. He's actually equaled the record of great Michael Schumacher for maximum number of pole positions. He starts on the pole position today, followed by Sebastian Vettel. So here we are, 2017 Formula One round number 12 at Spa-Francorchamps. This is round number 12 at Belgium. Total number of laps in this race 44, with 2 DRS zones. Entertainment is guaranteed at this track with 19 number of turns and total elevation change of just over 100 meters. Lap record is being set by Sebastian Vettel way back in 2009, and we are all set. Weather looks good today. I am bringing you live action podcast for this race. This is 2017 season. Some great action coming out in just a while. Few minutes off for the cars to be ready for the formation lap. It's been a very interesting race which has developed, with all the expectations from Red Bull has also not been disappointed this weekend, as Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen both are well set to start at 5th and 6th position behind Mercedes and Ferraris. Great startup. Lewis Hamilton starting on pole, Sebastian Vettel 2nd position, 3rd Valtteri Bottas start 3rd position, Kimi Raikkonen starts 4th position, Ferrari. Max Verstappen start 5th, Daniel Ricciardo starts 6th, 7th position Nico Hülkenberg, followed by Force India Sergio Perez at 8th position, 9th for Esteban Ocon, Force India. Fernando Alonso starts 10th. Roman Grosjean starts 11th in Haas, followed by his teammate Kevin Magnussen at 12th. 13th position Carlos Sainz with 5 place grid penalty for Jolyon Palmer starts 14th. 15th position and 16th for Lance Stroll and Felipe Massa. Felipe Massa serving 5 place grid penalty, and also grid penalties for Marcus Ericsson starts 17th, for Sauber and Pascal Wehrlein starts 18th. 20 places grid penalty for Daniel Kvyat starts at 19, and 65 places grid penalty for Stoffel Vandoorne of McLaren, who starts last on the grid. If you talk about strategy wise, this race looks like a straightforward one-stop race, starting on the ultra soft and switching to soft after about 14 to 15 laps. And all of them who are in top 10 super soft are an option for starting tire, and stress them a little longer and you will be comfortable at the end of the race. To stop, some of the drivers may resort to, but very unlikely, unless weather plays a havoc here, which doesn't seem to be as of now. Weather seems to be good at this point of time, with air temperature 22 degrees and 32 degrees track temperature. Pretty low on the temperatures. Pirelli tires are very prone to the temperature, and they take time to build up the track temperature. So tire blankets coming out from all the cars, and drivers are ready for the formation lap. With just about a minute to go for the formation lap to start, Sebastian Vettel with four wins is leading the point table, leading the championship with 200 points, 2 points, followed by Lewis Hamilton. All top 10 starting on ultra soft tires, the fastest tires chosen for this grid. 15 to 18 position, 16 position started super soft, and soft tire also by 16 position. So here we go, the formation lap starts. Drivers will try to bring as much heat as possible in their tires. This is one of the longest circuit in Formula 1 with 7 km above this track. Sebastian Vettel with 4 wins sitting at 202 points. Lewis Hamilton 188 points with 4 wins also, 4 wins apiece from the two leaders. Then followed by Valtteri Bottas, who is catching up thick and fast to Mercedes and Ferrari of Sebastian and Lewis Hamilton with 169 points with 2 race wins. Followed by Daniel Ricciardo 117 points, and only 1 point separate 4th and 5th position of Daniel Ricciardo and Kimi Raikkonen. So we should be seeing a tire change at somewhere around lap 14 for single stop and lap 12 for 2-stop strategy. We'll see how the race unfolds. This is round 12 of Formula 1 Championship 2017, with Ferrari already closed the seats for 2018 car, with Kimi Raikkonen 1 year contract extended for 2018 and 3 years contract extended for Sebastian Vettel till 2020. Ferrari is closed. Williams is open for the driver positions, whereas Mercedes, they seems to be pretty much okay with the driver combination they are going on with Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. So practically Fernando Alonso, the hot topic in the town, may not find the seat in Formula 1 cars. So he has only 2 options left: stay at McLaren or go 1 year off holiday for IndyCar series. Time will tell, just about 2 weeks, because if McLaren has to change the engine supplier, they have to do in next 2 or 3 weeks. So by next weekend or end of next fortnight, we'll come to know what is the future of McLaren and what is the future of Fernando Alonso. With Stoffel Vandoorne, already he has confirmed the race seat for next year around by McLaren. This track, maximum wins are by Michael Schumacher. He holds 6 wins. Ayrton Senna with 5 wins. Jim Clark with 3 wins. They are the leaderboards. So all the drivers are just about finishing the formation lap, getting into the car boxes and ready for action in Spa-Francorchamps. As the cars slow down, getting as much as temperature as possible in the tires, waiting for the last few cars to line up and ready for the action. Friends, do remember to like and subscribe my channel by hitting subscribe button on the right bottom corner as we wait for the 5 red lights to come on. And last car on the grid of Stoffel Vandoorne gets in place. You have the green flag by stewards and red light starts coming on. 5 red lights on and they go off. And we have the race start. A very good start for Lewis Hamilton. He tries to control Sebastian Vettel on the side. He does it successfully. And all the drivers are pretty much safe in the first corner with no changes of grid position. Sebastian Vettel right behind Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas behind him and holding off Kimi Raikkonen with both the Red Bulls behind him. Looks all clean start for all the drivers. Both the Red Bulls are side by side. Hopefully they don't mess up this time around. With Verstappen leading, Ricciardo behind, Fernando Alonso has already gained 3 places in the 7th position, with Nico Hülkenberg losing out to Fernando Alonso. We have a clean race. Till this point, we have a Sector 1 yellow flag. We will see what has happened in Sector 1. But otherwise, a clean start. Somebody might have pushed off from the track, but joined again. No harm done. Looks okay for all. And we have a clean start whatsoever at this circuit. We are just about in Sector 2, and Lewis Hamilton comfortably leading this race now. Lewis Hamilton leading the race with Sebastian Vettel just behind him. 3rd position Bottas, 4th Raikkonen, Verstappen and Ricciardo 5th and 6th. Fernando Alonso gaining a lot. He's already on the 7th position, followed by Nico Hülkenberg at 8th position. What a start to this race, and it's a clean start. And here Nico Hülkenberg already tried overtaking Fernando Alonso, and he does it comfortably and pretty safely. Nico Hülkenberg has actually managed to overtake Fernando Alonso, who somehow seems to be caught napping. So Nico Hülkenberg overtakes Fernando Alonso after lap 1. Fernando Alonso has all the work in the world to do to have a go at Nico Hülkenberg once again. And he's the driver who's not going to leave it very safe. And he tries the move on Nico Hülkenberg. He does overtake. There is a wheel-to-wheel touching which happens between Nico Hülkenberg and Esteban Ocon. But Fernando Alonso comes out in front and he grabs back the position of 7. Nico Hülkenberg in 8 positions once again, and Esteban Ocon just behind him. Sergio Perez also trying on Haas car of Kevin Magnussen to overtake him, presently in 11th position. Very close racing from position 7 to 11, with Alonso, Hülkenberg, Ocon, Magnussen and Perez all fighting for the position. Fernando Alonso, who caught napping in the first lap, was overtaken by Nico Hülkenberg, and he manages to get his position back with wheel banging from both the cars. No harm is done for both the cars. I would say smooth sailing. Below, Sergio Perez in 11th position, 12th is Roman Grosjean, Jolyon Palmer 13th, 14th for Felipe Massa, 15th Sainz, Lance Stroll 16th, Daniel Kvyat 17th, Stoffel Vandoorne already in 18th position, with both the Sauber cars in 19 and 20 position. We have lap 2 completing now. Hülkenberg is again getting prepared to attack Alonso, but it's not going to be easy cakewalk for him. Hülkenberg once again trying to overtake, and he does it this time around. So Nico Hülkenberg once again he gets a position back from Fernando Alonso. We have a clean start for all the drivers in this race. After 2 laps completed, Lewis Hamilton comfortably in top position with Sebastian Vettel following him, followed by Valtteri Bottas at 3rd place, Kimi Raikkonen comfortably at 4th place, bit of gap between Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel. Probably they just want to put faster laps this time around, as they will be using this tire somewhere for lap 12. But good thing is all the drivers are safe and sound, no accident whatsoever, no eliminations, which is generally a feature in Spa-Francorchamps. Hamilton leading the pack of the cars comfortably at this point of time. Seems to be Pascal Wehrlein. He has stopped, he's gone back to pits. We'll come to know what's the problem, but he seems to be retiring the cars. And Alonso now being overtaken by Esteban Ocon of Force India. But once again, McLaren not showing the sheer power this time around too. We have the fastest lap by Max Verstappen in the last lap. We are in lap 3 in progress. So already a decent gap has been developed after lap 3 with Sebastian Vettel and Hamilton, 1.6 seconds. And now Fernando Alonso is under threat from Sergio Perez, other Force India car. McLaren going not in the right ways. And he comfortably overtakes Fernando Alonso for 9th position. I'm sure the frustration must be developing in Fernando Alonso's head now, as he's been comfortably been overtaken by both the Force Indias, and Haas car for Roman Grosjean is also catching up fast Fernando Alonso. We believe that one stop strategy is going to be good idea in this circuit, or some of the drivers surely will be choosing two stop strategy to remain competitive and remain challenging, as the case may be later part of the race. Fernando Alonso already been down to 10th place, and we have an interesting battle which is going on for 13th place between Massa, Palmer, Sainz, Stroll, Kvyat and Van Dorn, all separated by just about a second now. So Pascal Wehrlein, he's out of the car from one of the Saubers. So it doesn't look good for Alonso as he's been overtaken very easily by Haas car of Roman Grosjean, and Magnussen is also catching him up now. So it doesn't seem to be good at all for Fernando Alonso here. With Lewis Hamilton maintaining a healthy gap of 1.6 to 1.7 seconds. Seems to be pretty much comfortable for Lewis Hamilton, with Bottas another 4 seconds down from Sebastian Vettel. We are in lap 6 completed. As you see on the timesheets, Alonso is going down pretty fast. Once again, Honda engine has not been the pal for Fernando Alonso here. However, news are coming that Fernando Alonso is probably going to confirm for next year around with McLaren Honda yet another year. But how the team is going to perform, it all depends whether they choose other engine partner. Sebastian Vettel comfortably keeping his car with a gap of about 1.5 seconds, and that's the right strategy because he can always have a good strategy and try to overtake Lewis Hamilton when the pit stops are on. And now Max Verstappen has a problem. He seems to be getting problem, no throttle whatsoever. Looks like game over for Max Verstappen. Once again, a total disappointment for the Belgian fans and Dutch fans back home. What a pity for Max Verstappen. Even though fans are really happy, they are seeing their favorite as close as possible to them, slowing down, going slowly towards them. Right at the edge of Sector 1 and Sector 2, Max Verstappen stops the car, shakes his head, not going good at all this season 2017. He has 5 not finishers this year around, which is pity for Max Verstappen. Such a talented driver. All the Red Bull mechanics and engineers are also shaking their heads. They can't really figure out what's happening in this Red Bull car. Whereas Daniel Ricciardo, he seems to be comfortably hustling his car around. As Max Verstappen just getting out of the car and the car being taken in the barriers safely. We still have the yellow flags in Sector 1 and 2. And also today, Mick Schumacher, son of Michael Schumacher, drove the car on the circuit. The same car which Michael Schumacher had the first win at Belgium 25 years back. Nick Schumacher drove the same car on the circuit, and everybody was excited and cheering up Mick Schumacher, the boy of Michael Schumacher, who is ready to rock and roll on Formula 1 circuit very soon. Some of the drivers taking this opportunity to pit the cars, change their tires. Going to be some shuffling in the order. DRS has been enabled. We are in lap 9. Max Verstappen goes on all-terrain vehicle. From the stewards. For the moment, Alonso is back in top 10. That is because he did not make the pit stop. So drivers out of the race, Max Verstappen and Pascal Wehrlein of Sauber and Red Bulls. Lewis Hamilton after end of lap 9 is leading with 1.5 second gap between him and Sebastian Vettel. Bottas is another 5 seconds down with some more gap between Bottas and Raikkonen, about 3 seconds. And then there is a considerable gap of 6.5 seconds between Raikkonen and Daniel Ricciardo. Hulkenberg not too far behind in 6th position with both the Force Indias in 7th and 8th position. We are in lap 10 of Belgian Grand Prix, round number 12 at Spa-Francorchamps. Friends, do remember to like and subscribe my channel by hitting the subscribe button on right bottom corner of your screens.
Lap of the race, but just a few hundredths of a second quicker than Lewis Hamilton. Almost a lap of honour for Max Verstappen as he tries to find his way back into the paddock. We think that Ferrari have the ability for the undercut this afternoon, Martin. Sebastian Vettel at the moment very much within range to try and prove that theory right.
Yes, they're into the 149.9s now. It's a two-horse race, it seems, out front.
Ocon and Grosjean coming in to the pits. Esteban Ocon stops in his Force India. Rapid change, super soft tyres.
So lap 11 is in progress and Lewis Hamilton still leading the race from Sebastian Vettel comfortably with 1.5 second gap. We have a small battle going on between Felipe Massa in 8th position and Carlos Sainz in 9th position, just separating about 1 second gap between them. So Nico Hulkenberg also coming to the pits now. He is presently in 7th position Felipe Massa also comes to the pits. Where does he join on the track? He should be joining in 14th position or just behind Fernando Alonso, who is in 14th position now. Lewis Hamilton in the meantime still leading the race comfortably. We are in lap 12. Lewis Hamilton leading with Vettel behind him. Bottas in 3rd position. Kimi Raikkonen 4th. Daniel Ricciardo 5th. 6th position for Sergio Perez. 7th Carlos Sainz. 8th for Nico Hülkenberg. 9th Daniel Kvyat. 10th Esteban Ocon, completing the top 10. Hamilton has come to the pits and changed his tires. He comes out, and where does he join? It will be interesting to see. He's already on the 4th position as he comes out of the pits. Pretty slow pit stop on Mercedes standards. Comes out, joins 4th position. Now it will be interesting to see whether he can avoid the undercut by Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel, now new race leader, just taken over due to Lewis Hamilton coming down in the pits. We are in lap 12. Vettel is leading now with 7-second gap between him and Valtteri Bottas. Kimi Raikkonen another 4-second down, and 15-second gap between Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton. Once again, both the Force Indias are pretty close in terms of speed and power of the cars. And now Esteban Ocon and Perez are both fighting for the position. And in the meantime, Kimi Raikkonen, he has been investigated for not slowing down under yellow flag. So that will be interesting. Is this going to play spoil sport for Kimi Raikkonen? It's time to see. In the meantime, Valtteri Bottas also completes his pit stop and comes down just behind Daniel Ricciardo in the 5th position. But remember, Daniel Ricciardo also has to stop. So it will be very interesting to see where does Vettel and Raikkonen come out after they have their pit stops. We are in round 14 of this round of Belgian Grand Prix. In the meantime, Sebastian Vettel, he has 14-second gap between him and Lewis Hamilton. In the meantime, Ocon tries a move on Carlos Sainz. Seems to be completing it pretty safely. It was Sergio Perez. He overtook two cars at the same time, the longest part of the straight. Very nice driving. And here we go. We have Vettel pitting now. Comes to the pit, stops the car. Yellow wall tires, goes on the car. Pretty smooth pit stop, I would say. 2.6 seconds stationary. And here we go. We see Lewis Hamilton coming across. That's Valtteri Bottas actually. Lewis Hamilton has already passed. No, he is behind. He is behind Kimi Raikkonen. So Lewis Hamilton in second position, and Sebastian Vettel has lost heavily. And here Lewis Hamilton makes a move on Kimi Raikkonen and he takes a position. Kimi Raikkonen tries to come back again at Lewis Hamilton. He's not able to do anymore. Lewis Hamilton picks up the lead. He is well ahead of Sebastian Vettel here, and he regains the top position at this point of time, and there is a healthy gap now between him and Sebastian Vettel. Vettel has a lot to do now if he wants to be competitive in this race. After completion of lap 14 now, Hamilton regains the lead after he had the pit stops and was overtaken by Sebastian Vettel. Here Lewis Hamilton, he overtakes Kimi Raikkonen very quickly, and Kimi Raikkonen will be a big loser in this position because he has not made his pit stop, and this time around Kimi Raikkonen comes for the pits. He's going to lose out heavily, I'm sure about it. Let's see, where does he come out? Yellow sidewall tires, goes in comfortably, he is out. Pretty good pit stop, 2.8 seconds, slower as compared to Sebastian Vettel. Let's see where he comes out. It's going to be no good for Kimi Raikkonen. He comes out just ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. In the meantime, there is a car number 11 which is up for investigation. So far, Daniel Ricciardo, he's doing very well. He's doing some kind of learning from Max Verstappen car and trying to control the car as nice as possible, as smooth as possible. In the meantime, both the Force India cars are sandwiching Carlos Sainz of Toro Rosso, where Esteban Ocon is ahead of him and Sergio Perez is looking to overtake. With all the top 4 drivers now are on the soft tires. And here we go. So there is a 10-second stop-go penalty for Kimi Raikkonen, failing to slow down for double yellow flags. So it's a race spoil for Kimi Raikkonen here. This is not expected from Kimi Raikkonen at such an important juncture for Ferrari, where they are fighting for World Championship, Constructor Championship, and these kind of errors are not expected at all. So we are in lap 17 of 44 with Lewis Hamilton comfortably leading the race. Sebastian Vettel second position, Valtteri Bottas on third position, followed by Kimi Raikkonen fourth, Daniel Ricciardo in lone Red Bull in 5th position. Kimi Räikkönen seeming to be furious about his penalty of 10-second stop-go penalty for what he has done. And in the meantime, Sebastian Vettel Lewis Hamilton leading this Belgian Grand Prix, which is round 12 of Formula One Championship 2017. Sebastian Vettel once again is closing up on Lewis Hamilton with just about 1.2 second gap between him and the leader. Valtteri Bottas further down with 4.5 second gap from Vettel. Daniel Ricciardo then distant down about 13 to 14 seconds down. Hülkenberg further 17 seconds down from Daniel Ricciardo. Raikkonen is already at 7th position and he is in the pits to serve his stop-go penalty for 10 seconds for neglecting the double yellow flags. And he goes on the track. Let's see where does he join back. But surely it's a spoil sport for Kimi Räikkönen. Kimi Räikkönen is now way down in 7th position. And he is in 8th position. He joins back the track on 8th position. So Kimi Räikkönen has a lot of work to do now if he wants to gain some points in this race. And remember, Kimi Räikkönen and Daniel Ricciardo, they are just separated by 1 point. So this will bite him heavily to Kimi Räikkönen for not obeying the double yellow flags. He should have slowed down during that time. In the meantime, with a gap of 1.5 seconds, we are in lap 18 for this round number 12 of Belgian Grand Prix here. Fernando Alonso and Stoffel Vandoorne in McLaren are way down in 14th and 15th position. After lap 19, Lewis Hamilton having a healthy gap of 1.5 seconds gap from him and Sebastian Vettel. We have Bottas in 3rd position, Daniel Ricciardo 4th, and Nico Hülkenberg 17.5 seconds behind the leader. Race is nicely set up as no damage done in the race start. This is very much expected in the Belgian Grand Prix in the previous editions, but this time around everything was perfect at the start. Only the bad point came for Max Verstappen. Once again, his engine did not supported him and he was out of the race. So Max Verstappen and Pascal Wehrlein, the drivers, out of the race pretty early in this round 12 of Belgian Grand Prix. So as we move to lap 19, Lewis Hamilton is getting closed by Sebastian Vettel. Is just about 7/10 of a second clear now from Sebastian Vettel. Also, there have been reportings by Roman Grosjean engineers to stewards regarding the cutting corner complained by Grosjean for Carlos Sainz. He believes that Carlos Sainz has cut the corner and got the DRS. So Lewis Hamilton, in the meantime, lap number 20, comfortably ahead, just keeping a gap of about 1.2 seconds now from Sebastian Vettel. Bottas is also in hot pursuit. He is in third position in other Mercedes, followed by Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo in fourth position. Kimi Raikkonen, after serving 10-second stop-go penalty, is in seventh position. We are almost on the halfway of this race. Remember, this circuit is 7 kilometers long and one of the longest circuit of Formula One calendar. Sebastian Vettel in second place, comfortably, just about 1 second gap between him and Lewis Hamilton. And today the talk was Mick Schumacher, son of great Formula One legend Michael Schumacher, drove the car. The car 25 years back, Michael Schumacher drove and had the first win for the German driver. And this was the track where Michael Schumacher won his first Grand Prix of his career. He has won on this track 6 times, maximum number of race wins by a driver on this track. Mick Schumacher, he's just 18-year-old, and he today demonstrated a perfect way of racing in one of his father's old cars. Of course, the 25 years back when he won the race, Michael Schumacher, it was on the dam track, but that was the beginning of Michael Schumacher area. So Lewis Hamilton leading the race after lap 22, followed by Vettel just behind him. And there is a 5-second time penalty for Sergio Perez, who left the track and gained an advantage. So he's been penalized for 5 seconds. This 5 second, either he serves when he is going for the pit stop, or it will be added to his time at the end of the Grand Prix. In the meantime, down the order, you have Bottas in third position for Mercedes, Daniel Ricciardo, Red Bull, fourth position, Nico Hülkenberg for Renault. Strong outing in this round for Nico Hülkenberg. Seventh is Kimi Raikkonen after serving his 10-second stop-go penalty. Esteban Ocon and Perez for Force India's 7th and 8th position. Roman Grosjean and Magnussen team 9th and 10th for Haas, followed by Felipe Massa in good 11th strong position. Then Alonso in 12th position for McLaren, Jolyon Palmer, other Renault in 12th position. In 13th position, 14th position is Lance Stroll for other Williams, followed by both the Toro Rosso for Carlos Sainz and Daniel Kvyat in 15th and 16th position. Stoffel Van Dam in 17th position, followed by last car on the track, Marcus Ericsson of Sauber. With Max Verstappen out of the race, Pascal Wehrlein out of the race. We are in lap 23 of this Formula One World Championship, round number 12. So we are crossing the halfway mark in this race. After lap number 23, how the leaderboard sets in, Hamilton leads the race with 1.7 second gap between him and Sebastian Vettel. Bottas in third position, Daniel Ricciardo in fourth position, with distant fifth for Nico Hülkenberg, just being chased by Kimi Räikkönen now, with about 1 second gap between Nico Hülkenberg and Kimi Räikkönen. Ricciardo also not having a strong car, but he is presently comfortable in fourth position. Sebastian Vettel putting all the experience behind him, experience of being a 4-time world champion, with 1.9 second gap, stretched a bit by Lewis Hamilton this time around in second position. Sebastian Vettel, due to some reason, is not clocking a good speed as compared to earlier laps. But he seems to be fine. His car looks to be okay, comfortable. Probably he just want to keep his pace and keep everything ready for last part of the race, where he can push the car to the limits and try to overtake Lewis Hamilton in the dying stages. In the meantime, gap comes down to 1.4 seconds between him and Lewis Hamilton, who is leading this Belgian Grand Prix. He's just out of the DRS zone, Sebastian Vettel. Also, Valtteri Bottas would like to keep a decent gap between him and Sebastian Vettel, because he knows by end of the race he should also be catching Sebastian Vettel. So we are going to have a very interesting race. In the meantime, Kimi Räikkönen in 6th position in hot pursuit of Nico Hülkenberg of Renault. For Ferrari, it should not be a big challenge to overtake Nico Hülkenberg. However, not to mention, Nico Hülkenberg is not going to give the position so easily. With Kimi Räikkönen is always prone to do some errors during his races. Anyway, he's just behind Nico Hülkenberg, goes side by side, overtakes him pretty comfortably on the long straight, where Renault cannot match Ferrari. Kimi Räikkönen comes to 5th position. So now he should start charging up and chasing Ricciardo, who is next target of Kimi Räikkönen. Ricardo is on super soft tires this time around. So he should be on two-stop strategy, Daniel Ricciardo. We are in lap 26 of 44 with Lewis Hamilton and Vettel battling and keeping a gap of just about 1.5 seconds between them. Nico Hülkenberg has been overtaken by Kimi Raikkonen in the last lap. Bottas is keeping about 5 second gap, with Lewis Hamilton leading this Belgian Grand Prix. Alonso is way down in 17th position, and finally McLaren decides to retire McLaren of Fernando Alonso. What a pity for McLaren yet again here in Belgium. Also, there were talks going on the paddock before this race where Fernando Alonso was claiming that he has rejected 60% of the offers he has received from various teams for 2018 drive, whereas 40% offers are still on the table, and he is seriously considering 2018 future with McLaren team. There were also talks that Williams may offer Alonso seat for 2018. However, this could be a purely a rumor, because Alonso definitely would not like to go to Williams and get a huge pay cut. Remember, Alonso is one of the highest paid drivers on the circuit for last many years. Drivers out: Fernando Alonso, Max Verstappen and Pascal Wehrlein. In the meantime, Jolyon Palmer and Fernando Alonso has a very close shave before Fernando Alonso retired his car, and he pushed Jolyon Palmer out of the track. And this time around, pit stop for Esteban Ocon, Force India. We are in lap 27 of 44 in this Belgian Grand Prix, with Hamilton still keeping a gap, maintaining a gap of 1.5 seconds about between him and Sebastian Vettel. In the meantime, there is a change of hands once again from Sergio Perez and Esteban Ocon. Sergio Perez has overtaken Esteban Ocon. And it was done in a flash, with Sergio Perez coming as the fastest lap, and on the start-finish straight he overtakes Esteban Ocon. As lap 29 unfolds, Lewis Hamilton comfortably leading the race, this time around about 2 seconds gap. And this time around, Esteban Ocon tries to overtake, and he does it. And they had a collision. Esteban Ocon and Sergio Perez had a collision where Esteban Ocon tried to take his position back, and he has a puncture. So Sergio Perez and Esteban Ocon, once again, both the teammates gets entangled, and here Sergio Perez tire goes off. So we could have a safety car here. He is on 3 wheels now, with the rear right tire shredded off and came out due to the collision which happened with Esteban Ocon. So he is on 3 wheels. Let's see whether stewards will call for a safety car, but he's being losing positions now quickly. He's on 13 positions already, and he's not able to control the car now. And this also fears the floor damage for Sergio Perez. Surely the safety car will be deployed for this. We are in lap 30 of 44, whereas marshals on the road try to take the debris out. In the meantime, Raikkonen sees a chance. He gets a soft tires on his car in this period. Remember, drivers are allowed to make the pit stop during this time around safety car period. Nico Hülkenberg comes in for his pit stop, and which tires he goes on? Comfortably on another set of soft tires. Everybody is now getting ready for the pit stops due to the collision which happened between Force India cars, as they get ready to receive Sergio Perez for change of his tire. Hopefully no floor damage has been done on Sergio Perez's car. Ferrari is getting ready for Sebastian Vettel. Interesting. So nose goes out for Esteban Ocon. He's the first one to come in the pits. Nose change, he goes out, and getting ready for Sergio Perez with damaged car, right rear. Car will surely be inspected for any damages of floor. Comes in the pit box, stops, inspection happens, tire changes, and Sergio Perez comes out on the track once again. In the meantime, we have our leader coming in, Lewis Hamilton this time around. Regular change of tires with yellow soft wall comes in. Done comfortably. He's also coming out of the pits. Daniel Ricciardo now comes to pits. Lewis Hamilton is out on the track, and positions are getting changed. We are in lap number 31 with virtual safety car on the track. So Hamilton still maintains the lead, with Vettel opting on super soft tires. And we have to see, it's no room given whatsoever for Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez was squeezed completely. a pity, and stewards will definitely look into this matter, as this could be potentially dangerous for other drivers, as the tire completely shredded off and rolled on the track, with most of the drivers have completed the pit stop courtesy the collision which happened between Sergio Perez and Esteban Ocon. So safety car is actually on the track and picked up the race leader Lewis Hamilton here. "30 laps completed in this race with just 14 laps to go. This seems to be a action-packed once the safety car goes off. So Lewis Hamilton behind the safety car, leading the pack of cars behind him. Sebastian Vettel and Valtteri Bottas all closing to each other, and all the lead which Sebastian Vettel maintained with Valtteri Bottas has gone, and Valtteri Bottas now sees a chance and he would like to overtake at the end of the safety car period, with Kimi Raikkonen in 5th position. Will also fancy his chances now to overtake Daniel Ricciardo immediately and start attacking Valtteri Bottas. So this turns out good for Mercedes, for Valtteri Bottas, and equally good for Kimi Raikkonen, who was way behind, and due to the wheel-to-wheel banging which happened between Force India cars has put them, both the Ferraris and Mercedes, in very competitive position to each other now. In this lap, no overtaking, lap number 32, behind the safety car. Lapped cars will be allowed to overtake safety car. Rest all will follow safety car. So we are going to have a very interesting and very energetic start after the safety car goes off. I'm sure Force India needs to have a very serious chat with the drivers. I mean, this has gone completely out of control from Force India, and they are just loving the crashes. Every race, it's absolutely madness which is happening from both the drivers. I'm sure Force India principal Vijay Mallya will look into this, and they will have a talk to their drivers. We have seen the similar thing happening during last few seasons between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Hülkenberg, where both the teammates were actually on a suicidal mission to come ahead of each other. Back on the track, safety car still on the track, lap number 32, just about 12 laps to go for this Belgian Grand Prix, round number 12, where now after the race Hamilton and Bottas are on soft tires, whereas Vettel and Ricciardo and Raikkonen's chosen ultra soft tires. So let's see how the race start happens after Lewis Hamilton, after the safety car goes off. And remember, it will be very difficult for Lewis Hamilton to get the temperatures in the car tires, after the safety car goes off, and it'll be difficult for him to keep the lead from Sebastian Vettel. So hopefully Mercedes powers give a support to Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas here. Safety car is still there in this lap also. In the meantime, stewards are having a look on the collision between Sergio Perez and Esteban Ocon, both the teammates for Force India cars, Force India team. Still some debris on the track which is being cleared. All the cars are stacked up behind safety car. We should see the green light very soon. Lap 33, safety car is still there on the track and seems to be this time around safety car should come up. Lewis Hamilton is trying to make as much as distance clearance possible from Sebastian Vettel. And this time around safety car should be coming out. Lewis Hamilton is trying to slow down as much as possible so he gets a clear in front of him. And here we go racing once again. Sebastian Vettel on the side, Lewis Hamilton had a clear, and in the meantime looks to be Valtteri Bottas. No, he's clear. One of the driver has gone off the track. We have to see whom, but Lewis Hamilton keeps the lead. Valtteri Bottas in third position, safely clear, and Lewis Hamilton is being chased by Sebastian Vettel. This is the best chance for Sebastian Vettel as Lewis Hamilton tries to get his tires up to the temperature. Lewis Hamilton is being chased by Sebastian Vettel. This is the best chance, and Sebastian Vettel is side by side. Lewis Hamilton is not going to give the way to Sebastian Vettel so easily. They are already on the corner, next corner around. Lewis Hamilton keeps the lead, and in the meantime Valtteri Bottas goes off the track. Kimi Räikkönen has overtaken. No, he's behind Daniel Ricciardo, but Valtteri Bottas has lost the position. He's gone to 5th position. He went off the track. What a start after the safety car period, where we were looking Valtteri Bottas challenging Sebastian Vettel, but it has gone in the other way. Bottas finds himself in 5th position as cars are settling down after the safety car period. So Bottas has some work to do now. All the top 5 cars are just being separated about a second now. Lewis Hamilton manages to keep the lead. Kimi Räikkönen tries to overtake Bottas and he just goes off the track. Bottas had nowhere to go and he has to come out of the track. So coming back on the racetrack, lap 35, Hamilton is closely being chased now. It's only half a second gap between him and Sebastian Vettel. So after the start, after the safety car period, we had very close battles right on the front where Sebastian Vettel brought his car side by side to Lewis Hamilton and he almost overtook him, where Lewis Hamilton had pre-decided that he is not going to give up places whatever happens to his position, and he manages to bring his car in front and manages to get back the lead from Sebastian Vettel. Bottas, the loser between the battle between Raikkonen and Daniel Ricciardo, he finds himself in the 5th position. So not a good start for Valtteri Bottas. However, no damages done whatsoever. So Raikkonen is now strongly in 4th position and chasing Daniel Ricciardo. Ferrari doesn't seem to be now very strong in their ultra soft, whereas Lewis Hamilton has started getting the speed and the power what he likes to have from his Mercedes power unit and from Pirelli tires. Vettel is already 1.3 seconds down on the time set by Lewis Hamilton. We are in lap 35, 36 started. Lap 36, Lewis Hamilton leads the pack with Nico Hülkenberg now at 6th position, followed by Haskar or Roman Grosjean at 7th position, Felipe Massa 8th position, Esteban Ocon 9th position, Carlos Sainz in 10th position. Sergio Perez, after the collision, he is now in 12th position. Stoffel Vandoorne still on the track in 15th position for McLaren. And last 2 positions for Marcus Ericsson for Sauber 16th and Kevin Magnussen on 17th position. So we have last 7 laps going on for Belgian Grand Prix of round 12 of 2017 Formula 1 World Championship, with Lewis Hamilton chasing his 5th win of the year. Sebastian Vettel just behind him, a gap of 1.5 seconds, and Kimi Raikkonen is chasing now Daniel Ricciardo. Behind him is Valtteri Bottas. So all the 5 positions are up for taking. Daniel Ricciardo, despite of the same car which Max Verstappen has, he's able to bring out the best from the car, whereas Max Verstappen has more than finishes, he has more than DNFs in this season, and it's not been lucky for Max Verstappen at all in this season. Daniel Ricciardo, whenever the opportunity comes, he picks up, and he's continuously picking up points slowly and steadily. In the meantime, Bottas now started picking up time on Kimi Raikkonen. It will be interesting at the end of the race. We do expect, with the power of Mercedes, Bottas should be in good shape to overtake Ferrari of Kimi Raikkonen and Daniel Ricciardo Red Bull. We are in lap 38 of 44 in this Belgian Grand Prix, with Lewis Hamilton putting some strong laps and keeping a gap of about 1.5 to 2 seconds between him and Sebastian Vettel. This action is going to go to the last lap of this race. As we go through lap number 39, Lewis Hamilton still keeping a gap of about 1 second between him and Vettel. Daniel Ricciardo is being chased by Kimi Raikkonen of Ferrari and Mercedes Valtteri Bottas, who is having a 2-second gap between him and Ferrari of Kimi Raikkonen. With 5 laps to go in this Belgian Grand Prix. Bottas is not gaining so much of time now on Ferrari of Kimi Raikkonen. It seems to be positions are getting settled down as they are presently, as all of them goes around for the start of lap number 40. There is a gap of about 1.2 seconds between Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel, which is all throughout the race. This gap has been steadily at this level. I'm sure Ferrari would like to tell Sebastian Vettel to push now, as they are comfortable with the tires of Sebastian Vettel. Lewis Hamilton, who is leading the race, behind him Vettel second position, Daniel Ricciardo at third, Kimi Raikkonen in fourth position, Valtteri Bottas fifth position, Nico Hülkenberg in strong sixth position for Renault, with Roman Grosjean in seventh position for Haas. Massa, after starting way down, He is in 8th position and in point scoring position once again. 9th position for Force India Esteban Ocon. 10th position for Carlos Sainz of Toro Rosso. Lance Stroll 11th, Daniel Kvyat on 12th position. Sergio Perez finds himself in 13th position after the collision with his teammate. With Sergio Perez 13th position, Jolyon Palmer is in 14th, Stoffel Vandoorne 15th for McLaren, Marcus Ericsson 16th for Sauber, and Kevin Magnussen for Haas is 17th position. With drivers out, Fernando Alonso McLaren, Red Bull Max Verstappen, Pascal Wehrlein from Sauber. Lap number 44, no change of position, no attacking as of now. I'm sure Sebastian Vettel is keeping everything for the last 1 or 2 laps of this race. We are on lap number 41 of 44 of this round 12 of Belgian Grand Prix. With 3 laps to go, Sebastian Vettel still has the gap of about 1.4 seconds from the race leader Lewis Hamilton, with a fair bit of gap of about 6 seconds from Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo. Bottas just about a second behind Kimi Raikkonen. He also is looking to overtake Kimi Raikkonen in the dying moments of the race. In the meantime, Sebastian Vettel sets up the fastest lap. And remember, he has the fastest lap record earlier with Red Bull in 2009, and he sets up the new fast lap at Spa-Francorchamps in 2017. Here Hülkenberg is also looking for strong finish in the points, with 6th position is held by him pretty strongly. Williams of Massa in 8th position, also in a pretty good shape to pick up the points here. With just 2 laps to go, Lewis Hamilton maintaining a gap of about 1.5 seconds to him and Vettel, with 2 laps to go in this race. Bottas is having a 1.5 second gap between him and Kimi Raikkonen. So lap 43 starts off in this round 12 of Formula 1 Pirelli Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps, and Lewis Hamilton leading the pack. So Mercedes will be getting their third victory in row at Spa, at this circuit. With just one lap to go after this, we see Lewis Hamilton strong, very strong to win this race now, and his gap with Vettel in World Championship cuts down to 7 points with this race win. This is the 5th race win. This will be the fifth race win for Lewis Hamilton in this 2017 championship. As they go around for the last lap of the race. So final lap of the race, Lewis Hamilton comfortably leading the pack. And there is a fair bit of gap now between him and Sebastian Vettel as Lewis Hamilton pushes for the final lap. And it seems very comfortable. Mercedes has actually pulled now, and Lewis Hamilton has increased the gap to almost 1.7 seconds. As they come to the second sector, no change in the gaps between Lewis Hamilton, the race leader, and Sebastian Vettel. So all set for one more race win for Lewis Hamilton here at Spa-Francorchamps, which happens to be a good track, good outing for Mercedes year on year. Sebastian Vettel should be comfortable with his second position this time around, as he has given all his efforts possible for this race. As they go around last corner of the race, and Lewis Hamilton is comfortably ahead of Sebastian Vettel with no more action expected in this race, being a pretty clean race, and goes on the start finish straight. And here we go, Lewis Hamilton wins his 5th Grand Prix of the season. Lewis Hamilton, the winner of Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps. Second position for Sebastian Vettel. Daniel Ricciardo brings another podium finish for him. Kimi Raikkonen 4th. Valtteri Bottas finishes 5th, and a good 5th position. And here Lewis Hamilton cut across and comes in the pits straight away after that. What a win for Lewis Hamilton here in Spa-Francorchamps. This is the 3rd win for Lewis Hamilton at Spa. What a race this has been for Mercedes, where Ferrari tried all the best what can be expected from Sebastian Vettel, but in no position he was seeming to be overtaking Lewis Hamilton except at the end of the safety car period, but he could not capitalize on that. So finally Lewis Hamilton wins this Grand Prix, which is round 12 of this World Championship. Well done, Lewis Hamilton. So the lead has been cut to only 7 points between Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel now. So the only way forward for Ferrari is they have to consistently perform and keep taking the points as they come across, as the Mercedes is surely a stronger team, but wherever the mistakes happens from Mercedes, Ferrari should not be losing the points. And this is exactly, Kimi Räikkönen has to work on this, because today he was very strong, and because of his mistake during the yellow flags, he had to serve 10-second stop-go penalty, which has done no good for the team. When you talk about the constructor championship also, where Mercedes and Ferrari are pretty close. So finally, Lewis Hamilton wins the Belgian Grand Prix. Comfortably. So we have the final standings. Lewis Hamilton won the race. Sebastian Vettel second. Third position for Daniel Ricciardo. Yet another podium finish for Daniel Ricciardo. Kimi Räikkönen fourth. Valtteri Bottas comes home fifth. Nico Hülkenberg strong sixth position for Renault. Roman Grosjean from Haas seventh position. Felipe Massa eighth position for Williams driver. Esteban Ocon of Force India ninth. Carlos Sainz fills up the last position for the points from Toro Rosso, 10th position, 11th for Lance Stroll of Williams. Daniel Kvyat, other Toro Rosso, finishes 12th. Jolyon Palmer from Renault finishes 13th. Stoffel Vandoorne finishes 14th in his McLaren. Kevin Magnussen 15th. 16th position for Marcus Ericsson. Sergio Perez 17th position. Alonso, Verstappen, Verlaine out of the race. So with this, I finished the live podcast for this race. I hope all of you enjoyed the live podcast. I'll be bringing the live podcast for the future races of Formula 1 season 2017 on qualifying and race days. I would like to thank to all my subscribers and fans and the viewers to bring more live action to you and interesting race action live in the coming Grand Prix as the 2017 season comes to his second half. With this, I will take leave. Drive safely, good luck, and see you next time around. Bye bye. Take care.